Everybody, we want to welcome to the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell, the incredibly talented Yan Birch. Hello and welcome to the show.
Thank you so very, very much. I'm happy to be here.
Let me introduce you to everybody, starting off with my cool, outrageous man about town co-host, Mr. Ron Russell.
Good seeing you again. Enjoyed seeing you. What is it, about a week ago?
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
About 2 weeks ago. It was a fun night, wasn't it? It was a great night.
We had a good time at Betrayed.
I mean, I really met a lot of nice people. And we met you, of course. Yeah. And we also met, what's his name?
Jake Busey. I knew him.
Jake Busey, who's a nice guy. So it was an interesting
And we met your beautiful wife. That was your wife, right?
Yes, Victoria, yeah.
Victoria, she was beautiful and so nice. It was really nice to meet her.
You have to be very careful when you do that.
Why?
Because sometimes these guys don't travel with their wives. So when you say that beautiful girl you were with, you better make sure it's the wife before you say it. Otherwise, these guys are going to beat the shit out of you.
Good point.
Right? Now, let me say
something.
Hold
on. Then we got to finish the introductions.
Oh, finish.
Then we got the man behind the boards, Mr. Chad Murphy.
Yan Birch, thanks for joining us. Good to have you.
Great to be here, actually.
And we have a chat room with every country represented. We've got Australia, we've got Canada, we've got Germany, we've got Estonia, the United States, all over the place, England. Say hi to everybody in the chat room.
Hey, everybody in the chat room.
There you go. And you can follow him, you guys. He's on Twitter at Yan Birch, YANBIRCH. All right, now you can say whatever you want to say. Go ahead.
Jimmy said to me a couple of weeks ago something about Under the Stairs. And I said, Jimmy, I loved that movie. And he said, you hate those kind of movies. I said, yes, I do. But this one I really liked. I thought it was a very well done film and interesting. And the actors were good. And then he said, you were eventually coming on, he thought. And I said, great. I just want to tell you, you did a nice film. Because most of these horror movies stink.
Yeah, I mean, it was an amazing film, and obviously an amazing experience for me with working with the late Wes Craven, a dear friend of mine. And it was also, as Wes Craven's films, a lot of times are, it was even political. The black kid was the hero. The monsters under the stairs, turned out to be heroes. It was a very, radical potential he had with what he wanted to say with the film.
So everybody, too, in case you haven't seen The People Under the Stairs, what year did that come out?
1991.
1991, you guys. It stars Brandon Quinton Adams, and you guys know him also because he was like the little kid in all the Mighty Ducks movies, which I love those Mighty Ducks movies. A.J. Langer from My So-Called Life, Ving Rhames, Sean Whalen, who's now on NBC Superstore, and Bill Cobbs, Kelly Jo Minner's been on our show, Wendy Robick, and Everett McGill, and it was a Wes Craven film, and you were in it, and I think it's one of the best done films, especially of that decade. And it still holds up today. It's fabulous. And did you have a great time?
I had the best time. Like I said, one of the best directors I've ever worked with so far still is Wes Craven. He was more of a friend, a buddy than a director. He was very easygoing, and he just wanted to get it right. And he never worried about the studio or the studio's money or when they complained and when he was over budget. It was just, I'm making my movie, and that's it.
What do you think that film cost?
It was $6 million.
Which is a lot back in 1991.
Today it's $30 million.
Yeah, but it made $31 million in the box office right off the bat in the U.S. I mean, it was #1 for 6 weeks, so he definitely hit it out of the ballpark.
Absolutely.
I hope your contract had it at the end for you.
They didn't do that back then.
They didn't do that back then?
No, they didn't do that back then.
No, they didn't do that back then. But, it was one of those rare movies who was a, #1 box office hit and also became a cult movie. Because it's usually either or.
Yeah.
A very big cult movie. So do you keep in touch with a lot of the people that were in that film? Do you guys go to conventions as a group and everybody do autographs and stuff?
Yeah, we go, me, Sean, Brandon, and Kelly go. The four of us go to a lot of conventions and do, we did the 20-year anniversary. We did the 25th now recently, and we probably do the 30th if we, God bless all, be still here. But we have a lot of good times in those. We are very close. We're like a family,
I love it. I think it's fantastic. And another thing I think is super great. That movie came out in 1991, and you've worked pretty steady. But right now, it's kind of like a resurgence for you because now you're like super hot. Like you have like all these films coming out. You have like I think 11 films or something in development. You're in films with all kinds of people that we've had on the show. You're in I think another Harley Wallen film, Abeyance, Sky Sharks. Like half the cast of Sky Sharks has been on our show. Killer Rose with Caroline Williams and Felissa Rose, and we went to the closing the last day of shooting and did interviews with all of them. Agramon's Gate. I mean, like you're like hot right now. Like, how does that feel to be like, kind of like be back and be so hot and have like all these projects coming out and everybody like wanting to like cast you again?
Oh, it's a fantastic feeling. I mean, I'm incredibly grateful, and I appreciate everything that comes my way. And it's yeah, I mean, it's fun. I'm having so much fun. It's just, when you get older, you just appreciate things a little bit differently. And every movie I get, I appreciate more. And I love to work. So, and a lot of these people I work with now, all of my friends.
Right. That makes it even more fun.
How does it feel to be in a hit movie? Because, he's on my page, Wallen.
Oh, Harley?
Harley. And he said, oh, my God, 50,000 copies are gone, and we can't get it. And he's carrying on. So I said, next time make a shitty movie that you'll have 1 million copies up your ass and you can't push it. So shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. What are you carrying on about, stupid bitch? You got a hit film. He sold out. You were very good in that film. Let me tell you something. You added quality to the film. But I got to tell you, he's quite an actor. His Russian accent was good, and his portrayal was very good.
Which, everybody, hang on, we're talking about Betrayed.
Yeah, Betrayed.
The latest film by Harley Wallen that has a great cast, and of which Yan is part of the cast.
I never saw Harley's work. So I thought, he produced it, he put his ass in there, he's going to, like, fuck up every line, sound like he's reading a script. No. Everybody was very good. He directed you, correct?
Yes. I mean, he's an amazing director. And I mean, you don't forget, he came from acting. He was an actor first, and then you can really tell at his directing skills and the way the technique he uses, because he lets you kind of be who you are, and he lets you grow into the character that you feel like you want to play it. That, he lets you get the first stab at it, basically. First time I work with him, I walk up to him like you would do with all directors. So what are you looking for? What do you want me to do? And he's like, do what you want to do, and then we'll talk. So so he's more like a sculptor. He sculpts the piece that when it's half done instead of trying to make it from scratch.
Love it.
He let the artist make all the little pieces come together.
That's what makes everyone's performance in that movie easy. Sometimes you see a film and you could feel the character is forcing its way into the storyline. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It's happened in a lot of films, but this film, everybody just sort of eases into it. That's the only thing I could say, to ease in. I enjoyed it. I think everybody will. Certainly, they must love it. They're buying it like crazy. I hope you're at the end of this film too.
I love it.
Because this film's going to make a lot of money.
I love it.
But it couldn't happen to nicer people, and couldn't happen to a nicer guy. He's a gem.
Yeah, we had him on our show.
I love him.
For his other movie that came out. I forgot the name of it now, but the one about the family who has all the adopted kids.
Bennett's Song. Yeah.
Bennett's Song. Yeah, we had him on to promote that, but we had never met him until your premiere, and we had him come on the week before your premiere. And then we got to meet him and go to the premiere, meet all you guys, and it was really a lot of fun.
He's like a real buddy. He's a guy.
Yeah, he's a really cool guy.
We're really close now. I've done 3 films with him now, and it will be more next year. So we have a very good relationship. We're both Swedish too. It's kind of like the core. The core is there. The core. No matter what kind of guy he would be, I would give him a chance because he's Swedish. But I didn't really, I didn't even have to do that.
Which is nice.
He came in and just freaking, he's the best.
Yeah, he really is.
I wish Lady Gaga would feel that way. She's Italian, and so am I. I wish she'd get me in one of her films.
So another thing that I think is funny about you, because I follow, I'm a big horror movie buff, so I like see everything from the really shit to the really good ones. And but one thing I didn't know about you until I was looking at your IMDb is that you're also a soapy.
Yeah, I did a couple of soap. I did Santa
Barbara.
Well,
you did.
And Young and the Restless. Yeah.
And we've had everybody from Young and the Restless. We've had like tons of Young and the Restless people because we also have a lot of soapies. A lot of them live here in California. We've had all of them on the show. And
we invented the word soapies, by the way.
Oh yeah, I don't know what other people call it. That's
I started calling them soapies, and one of them said, "That's interesting. We've never been called soapies before." I said, "Oh well, that's what you are to me, soapies," because I never watched soap. I went out with a guy years ago who was on a soap opera. What was his name again? I forgot. I was like 17. He was like 30. What the hell was his name? Oh my God, this is.
You can think about it later, but we'll keep going.
Anyway, he was on, I think, As the World Turns or one of those things.
So you're in a lot of horror movies. Do you watch a lot of horror movies? Is there something that you like and enjoy? And if so, like what are some of your favorite horror movies besides the ones that you're in?
Well, I watch some. I'm not a complete horror fanatic. Which might be weird because I've done a lot of horror movies. I like all movies. I like just the art, the passion. I have passion for the art, so I like to see a little bit of everything. Same with music, but I do enjoy watching a good movie, no matter what genre it is. And I would say maybe The Exorcist is a really good movie for me. The first Freddy Krueger was good.
Yeah,
I like Wes the way he directs with a little bit of comedy in it. A few movies like that for sure.
It's so funny because we had Amanda Wyss on the show. I think it's Wyss or Weiss. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. Weiss? Is it Weiss? Anyway, we had
actually it is Wyss.
It's Wyss, I think.
It is Wyss.
We had Amanda Wyss on the show, and he didn't know who she was, and we were talking about horror movies, and he's like, "Have you ever seen that movie where the girl gets grabbed in the middle of the bed by the guy with the claws on his hand?" And she was like, "Yeah, that was me."
What did I know?
And he didn't know that, and it was hilarious.
And I said to her, because I started, before I said it, I said, the scariest thing I've ever seen that really upset me, which I don't get bothered. I'm from Brooklyn. What's going to scare me? Nothing. So was when the man's hand came through the mattress and grabbed the girl. That really was weird. She said, that was me. I thought, holy shit.
She was so fabulous.
She was fun.
Do you know, have you ever met her?
No, I've not.
Okay, you'd like her. You guys would get along well.
I'm sure.
So you also did a film, and we just had another guest on before you. Her name's Eileen Shapiro, and she's a huge Adam Ant fan. So we were talking about you because you did a movie called Cyber Bandits back in the day, and it had Martin Kemp, that's the guy from Spandau Ballet, right? Martin Kemp, I think.
Yes.
Martin Kemp and Alexander Paul, who's been on our show, and Adam Ant and Grace Jones and you, and she's a huge Adam Ant fan. She's got a book that she's writing, like searching for Adam, because she spent years trying to interview him, and now she interviewed him and everything. And so that's like her most favorite musician, like in the world. And I told her you were coming on, and she's like, "Oh, I saw that movie. It was a great movie." And that's not horror.
No, it's a thriller, but I play a very interesting part. I play a transvestite. Actually, Grace is Jones' girlfriend.
A transvestite, you?
Yeah,
that was a stretch.
Yeah, no, it was. When I went to the audition, I felt, at least at the callback, I was the only straight male there. The whole room was actual transvestites, and this is 1993, 94, I think. And I just went in, and I went in for the audition. I ended the callback with jumping in the director's lap because it just felt like it was right.
No, maybe that's why you got cast. Maybe
right.
That helped you get cast, though.
He liked the feeling. Now, did you have any scenes with Grace?
No, I did not. We just took pictures together, and then I was actually running a bar, and we were talking about her like my girlfriend, but we didn't actually. We met on set, but we actually didn't have any dialogue.
Because I heard she was hard to work with.
Well,
she was difficult.
I've heard a few things, but I'm sure we had a good time. We had a really good time.
Because I hate that when you hear things about somebody being hard to work with, and next thing you know, you're cast in a movie, and you've got scenes with them. And you're going to say, oh, shit, here we go now with the temperament, with the I don't like the lighting, my line's enough for me, I need to rest, I got my period, I just peed. All that nonsense that these divas pull, or men also.
Yeah, but a lot of times it ends up that's all not true.
Yeah, but you have to stand there and put up with this shit. Like in the early days when I did extra work, they would tell us, do not talk to the stars.
Well, you're not supposed to now either.
Oh, bullshit.
No, you're not allowed to talk to
There
the
are no more
stars.
stars today. What do you think, it's Hollywood? They're actors.
I know, but they don't let you do that today either.
No, that's not so, because Caroline said that's not so.
That's different on an indie film. But if you went on a major like film, like I did all those TV shows, you couldn't do it. You couldn't talk to them. I did, but you couldn't.
What are you talking about? I was on major television shows, all those big shows, and I hung out with everybody. I didn't give a shit who they were.
If you're on set, do you talk to the extras?
If they talk to me, yeah. I mean, sometimes, it all depends on if it's all in the same room, of course I do. But if they like, a lot of times they're just separated in a different area of the film and you really don't see them. You just see them, they behind you when you shoot. And then that's not a good time to strike up a conversation. Talking. But, of course, I don't mind being, I like being friendly with everyone.
I love it.
I was 19 years old. I played a soldier extra in the film That Kind of Woman with Sophia Loren. Sophia didn't speak English well at the time. I speak Italian fluently. Guess who sat next to Sophia for 4 days? Me. They kept telling me, you can't sit there, you can't sit there. Till finally she said, please let him sit here. He's very amusing and fun. And I just sat there bullshitting with her in Italian between takes. And I thought it was terrible that they had this kind of prejudice,
Yeah, no, but it's just also, it's just, I mean, they do have, things happening on set with some weird, both extras and stars. I mean, weird things can happen. So, I mean, even nowadays, they have to be even more careful. It's all kinds of things going on.
True.
Absolutely.
An extra could be a mad bomber.
Also, like, is the movie Death House, is it out? Because I saw somebody posted something that it's coming out.
Yeah, no, Death House it was coming out now in all medias. It was released on theaters in April.
And now it's getting ready to come out. Because, that Death House is one of the biggest, every star on the planet is in it film. And I was, looking at all the people who are in it. And we've had almost every single person on the show. You guys, so do you know when it's coming out?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the exact day. I think sometime in this month they're coming in all medias. But it was theatrical in April already. Came out.
So Death House, you guys, stars Adrienne Barbeau, Sid Haig. Sid Haig's been on the show. Tony Moran, Tony Todd's been on the show. Kane Hodder's been on the show. Max Wassa was just on the show. Dee Wallace has been on the show. Barbara Crampton's been on the show. Vernon Wells has been on the show. Gabrielle Stone we interviewed. Sean Whalen hasn't yet, but we're gonna now that we met him with you at Betrayed.
Yeah.
Courtney Palm's been on the show. Felissa Rose has been on the show. Tiffany Shepard's been on the show. Gregory Blair's been on the show. Debbie Rochon, Lloyd Kaufman, Bill Oberst, Tiffany Shepard, and Sarah French. They've all been on the show. It's like a movie that almost every person in it, now that we got you on here, has been on the show. And
wow.
I hope it's good with all those people.
A quick Adrienne Barbeau story. I met Adrienne at a party, and we were gabbing, and I said, when we were kids and you were on Maude, and you danced in that belly dancing thing with the little bra, all the guys went crazy, so they renamed you. She said, what? I said, Adrienne Barboobs. And she said, I figured it would be something like that. She knew I was a dirty pig.
I
love it. I did.
She's nice.
As well with her.
She's a nice gal. She was writing, I think, 3 movies at the time, or stories for movies when I last saw her. I don't know what happened with them.
You also have Terror Tales with Felissa Rose, Lorene Landon, and Ari Lehman. Literally, your work is a who's who of all the people that I've met and enjoyed and we've had on our show. So I think number 1, kudos for that. Number 2, kudos for all the new stuff and all the new stuff you're going to have coming out and the fact that everybody's casting you a lot again. And number 3, let's go to this. So of all the films that have ever been released before, I don't mean your films. If you could have been in any film that's ever been made, what film would you have liked to have been in? And then, as you're thinking about it, tell us also who are your bucket list of a male and a female actor and actress that you think would be so awesome to work with.
Well, I would say Lord of the Rings.
Oh, there you go.
The movie that I would like to been in, yes. Robert De Niro.
Okay.
I would like to work with, and probably Susan Sarandon.
Oh, that's a good one.
Love to work with her.
I'm so glad you didn't say Meryl Streep, because everybody always says Meryl Streep.
Susan Sarandon's been around, and she's a good actress. She really, is understated, I think.
She has that movie that she does.
I love Susan Sarandon.
Where Julia Roberts is like dating her husband because she's divorced, and she ends up that she has cancer, and she takes pictures of all the kids and turns them into statues. I forgot what the name of it is, but it's like the most gripping, I cried the whole way through movie ever. She's fantastic. I love her.
Yep, she's a good actor.
She's a good one. I would have picked her too. Actually, I think she'd be a fun one.
Yeah,
but you know what?
She's a great actress.
She
Yes.
seems to be forgotten. It's like she never is in the press or anything. People forget Susan Sarandon. Whereas Meryl Streep, everybody knows it's always about Meryl Streep. And I wonder if it's because of their PR people. Do they have publicists anymore, or is that a thing of the past?
Oh no, they definitely do.
No, they do. Everybody has a publicist, yeah.
So how come Susan Sarandon's publicist doesn't have her out there?
I think they only put her out there when she's got stuff coming out.
When she's like a communist or something, they make her out to be.
No, it's very vehicle driven now. It's like almost everything is vehicle driven more than in the past. Basically, even your publicist. It's like to get an agent, for example, you kind of have to have a vehicle before you get an agent. If you want some with substantial, a substantial agent. So basically, you have to make money before they take you. And the publicists are very similar nowadays because if you don't have a major vehicle that they basically all they got to do is pick up the phone. Everybody wants the story. They don't want to do as much work as they used to do. That's the impression I get.
Oh, that's funny.
Not this guy next to me. He works around the clock.
That's what I do to support myself. We do this show, and we're in films, and we do all kinds of fun stuff. But like, I support myself as a publicist. But I take anybody who's like trying to like work, and we try to build with them. So we work with a lot of like well-known people, but not like a Susan Sarandon well-known people.
No, but if you worked for Susan, I would have said to you, listen, Jim, I'm not reading anything about it because I follow all of your clients, and he does a good job getting their asses out in the public. But just a lot of stars that really you don't hear about anymore. It's always the same people.
They're on Twitter, though.
Robert De Niro, Meryl Streep, it's the same old names but the other people just don't seem to get a break.
So why did you pick Lord of the Rings?
Well, I was up for it. Viggo Mortensen's part. So, it was always like, it would have been great to get the part. And second of all, it was just that kind of movie that made such an impression worldwide that you can just do that $1 billion movie and you can basically sculpt your craft from there.
You should have played Robin Hood.
Oh, I would have loved that too.
You would have.
Actually, there's a new Robin Hood coming out now.
Because you're on the Errol Flynn type, and you could have definitely revised the Errol Flynn Robin Hood. I would have cast you as Robin.
Oh, actually, I could see you as an Errol Flynn type too.
Yeah, but you have to get an English accent, lose the Swedish accent, which actors do. Let me hear your English accent.
It's not very good actually.
Well, in order to get you to play Robin Hood, you have to have an English accent.
Actually, I would get a voice coach to do it. The thing is with me, when I learned the British English in school, so I grew up with the British English with a Swedish little accent. I come over here, have a voice, work on my own, and then have a voice coach and try to be so American. You always have to be American, or then I get a lot of Germans and I get a lot of other Swedish with an accent that I don't have, like the strongest accent. So then something like British, which I started with, is almost the hardest one to get back to. So I got it.
Oh, absolutely.
It's amazing how an accent gets you work. I'm doing 4 films, and every film they want my Brooklyn accent. And if I didn't have the Brooklyn accent, I wouldn't have gotten the film. So accents do make you get work. There's no question about it. And if you know many accents, you could work a lot.
I can't do any accents.
Well, I mean, some of these English stars, they come to America.
And you can't even tell that
they sound like they're from Brooklyn as well. I mean, there's not a drop of English in them. They're all American. But it's hard work. It's very difficult to act and then have to have an accent. You have 2 things to do at once.
Did you ever see The Lost Boys? That's like my favorite 80s. That's an 80s film because you're a 90s film. Did you ever see The Lost Boys with Kiefer Sutherland and Corey Haim and Corey Feldman and Jamie Gertz and Jason Patrick?
And Billy Worth, yeah.
Yes. Oh, and Billy. I forgot because you're friends with Billy Worth. Yes.
I saw it. It was when it came out, I thought it was a fantastic film. I just got here when that one was shooting, so I missed out on that. I even have a chance for it, but I love the film, and I'm very close with Billy, very, very close with Billy, and I know basically everyone else. I mean, I was close with Corey Haim, and God bless his soul, and Brooke McCarter, and I was pretty close too. God bless his soul. I mean, it's a great movie, great cast, great people.
I lived in Florida up until like the last 6 or 7 years, and so Brooke McCarter and I used to hang out a lot, and Corey Haim and I hung out a lot. And I met Billy through them, but I didn't really know. I only met Billy one other time until we saw him the other night, and which he doesn't age. He's like you, actually. You don't really age either. Besides the fact that the goatee is like gray, like you don't have any wrinkles or anything, and Billy Wirth is like that too, because I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't seen him in 10 years, and he looks the same.
It's the Swedish chocolate.
Do you eat Swedish chocolate?
I love Swedish chocolate.
Yeah, I eat some Swedish chocolates. I get my
delicious.
Do you go to IKEA?
I do go to IKEA. I go to IKEA. I get my coffee.
We go there too, because Ron's daughter loves Sweden, and she goes to get her coffee there, and she buys salmon. She likes the Swedish salmon.
Now, tell me something. Do you like playing heavies, or would you like to play something very light and comedic and fluffy?
I like it all. I mean, I like mostly. They cast me as a villain or a saint. I mean, I played a guardian angel with Kim Basinger and Bless the Child, and I played Satan just now in Terror Tales. It's kind of like nothing really in between. But then I got a chance once in a while to do the Cyber Bandits and to do the lighter parts, and I enjoy it.
Now, what's your favorite character that you want to play or you do play?
The favorite character I have played, or I would like to play?
Both. Would like to and have had.
Would like to play. I like to play the hero once. I would like to play the hero at least once, instead of the villain that's going to kill the hero. And I would like to play. I mean, what I have played, my favorite that I've played. It's hard to say, but because it's such different roles. There's such different roles, but the one that made the most impact on me still to this day is the Stairmaster and People on the Stairs.
Yeah.
Would you like to be like a Cary Grant type and play something light and delicious like in Cary Grant movies?
Oh, I would love to. Yes.
Me too. I wanted to be Cary Grant. Well, it didn't turn out that way, but I grew up wanting to be Cary Grant. I think he was probably one of the best people we have in the business as far as an entertainer goes. But difficult. Difficult to be Cary Grant without looking faggy, because you can look very faggy sometimes. When
he can say that because we're gay.
Yeah. he knows that.
I know. I'm just making sure everybody else who might be tuning in for the first time who don't know that.
Get over these words. I'm so tired of politically correct words. In my day, we said everything and nobody gave a shit. Now you got to watch your tongue. You got to keep your dick in your pants. You can't do anything bad anymore. It's terrible.
You got to be careful.
Guys have to be gentlemen, like in my day. The nowadays guys can't be like they are.
I gotta love it. So what other Harley films you got? Because I know you've worked on. I think wasn't Abeyance a Harley film?
Abeyance was a Harley film, and Agramon's Gates Harley films. Those are the two that are still coming out. And
are those horror films?
No. Abeyance is in a thriller. And Agramon's Gate is a horror movie. Agramon's Gate, when I did Betrayed with Harley, it was the first time we worked together. And after that, we talked, and he called me up a couple months later and said, hey, now after I met you, now I got to make my horror movie. So then we did Agramon's Gate.
And that's with Lorraine Landon, right?
Yeah, but Betrayed wasn't a horror movie.
No, it was a thriller.
Yeah.
Thriller. Yeah, with Lauren Landon, we had a fantastic time. That's one of the movies that I'm actually very, very excited about, because the trailer just won Queen Palm Award, I guess, and they just cut the trailer and they submitted it to the first film festival it won.
There you go. You know Lorraine too, Lorraine Landon. We love her. She's been on the show.
Love Lorraine.
We see her at a lot of red carpet events that we go to. She's fabulous.
We have made so many friends on this show. It's amazing.
No, Lorraine is fantastic. We had a great time on set. She's a fantastic actress. I think we played off each other. We play husband and wife, but I come back from the dead and, kill her.
Next time we see her, we have to tell her.
Yeah, we'll have
that.
to tell her that. We're gonna see her anyway because there's lots of cool stuff coming up.
I've done like over 800, maybe 1,000 interviews in this last 6 years, and out of that, I've got to say, 40% have become friends. Like you, we're going to see you, and now we know you. We're going to hug you and be a pal of yours because you're a nice guy. Most Swedes are, Because don't forget, you had Anita Ekberg.
Yes, we did.
And boy, was she something.
Oh my
else.
God, does he love Anita Ekberg?
Oh, I adore Anita Ekberg. One of the most beautiful women in the world. No one had that gorgeous look of Anita Ekberg. My God, and those boobs, and they were real. They weren't water bags.
So did you meet your wife here in America, or did you bring her from Sweden?
Oh no, I met her here. She's born in Pasadena.
Oh wow. That's cool. You gotta
Can't
love
get
it.
more American than that.
So everybody, listen up. This is Yan Birch. He's got all kinds of stuff coming out. You definitely want to see him in Betrayal. He's got a whole bunch of films coming out. It's Halloween, so you gotta watch The People Under the Stairs. I'm so pissed because People Under the Stairs was free on ROKU in September, and I thought, I'm going to wait till October, and then they took it off, so now it's not free anymore, which I hate that when they take the really good movies and they take them off when you want to see them.
They'll put it back for Halloween.
But everybody needs to see The People Under the Stairs. Check out all his other films, Bless the Child, Death House is coming out, Terror Tales, Ghost Rock. He's got a bunch of great films. Follow him on Twitter, @Yan Birch. You're also Yan Birch on Instagram, right?
Yan Birch page.
Yan Birch page on Instagram. And what about Facebook? Do you have a Facebook fan page?
Yeah, just Yan Birch.
There you go. Yan Birch on Facebook, everybody. So follow him. Follow him on Twitter. It's really him on Twitter, so you know when you're tweeting something to him. If he responds, it's actually him. And we want to thank you for coming on the show. Congratulations on a stellar career, and I'm sure we're going to see you soon at some kind of event someplace. So we want to thank you and have a great Halloween.
I hope I work with you one day. Wouldn't that be
cool? Well, I would love to.
I'm easy to work with. I'm not a problem. I just eat a lot. I'm hungry all the time.
Anyway, Yan, thank you so much. Please give our best to your lovely wife.
Yes.
And we'll see you soon. And happy Halloween.
Yes. And
happy Halloween to you.
Pleasure interviewing you. Thank you, Yan, so much.
Bye-bye. Hey,
now.
everybody. So, Tina Davidson's in the chat room. What's up, Tina? Hello.
Tina, my sweet.
Love to see you in the chat room. Please say hi to Stefan. Everybody, we had a fun time today. Thank you, Eileen Shapiro and Yan Birch. Chad, you're a superstar. Everybody, if you're in the hurricane, please be careful. And what else? We got like a minute. So follow me on Twitter at Dr. Jimmy Star. Ron's at Ron Russell Show. And I don't know what else to say.
And just be nice to one another and be friendly and be helpful.
There you go.
Because we're on this planet for a short time. Why make everybody's life miserable? It's not fair. Be kind, be happy. And that makes life livable.
Absolutely. All right, everybody. We'll see you next week. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll be a year older. Bye.
Later.
Gonna get laid tonight. You need Jimmy Star. Jimmy Star. You need Jimmy Star. Jimmy Star. One day I was walking down the street. My mate come up to me and said, "Hey mate, wanna go to a party?" I'm like, "What are you talking about, love? I ain't got no gums. I need some nice gums so I can go out to this party and pull all the chicks and the geezers. Do you know what I